There is truly no place on the planet like New York City. I mean, there are things you can do here that you can literally not find anywhere else on the planet. And that is why 1 in every 38 Americans live here in New York City. You'll see things that you may not ever want to see here. You'll see things that will blow your mind. And today we are going to be featuring some of those things that you can only find here in New York, including this one. So let's get to it. Did you know in New York City you can climb the exterior of one of the world's tallest buildings? It's actually the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere that has an outdoor observation deck, and it's called The Edge. We actually did it this summer, and this is what it was like.
City Climb is a unique experience where you can climb a 16-story outdoor staircase located on the exterior of a building. Now don't worry, it is super safe. So safe that you have to take a breathalyzer before you go. Your safety harness gets checked 4 times by multiple people, and you're escorted by 2 professionals who help you get all of the IG moments you need so you can just focus on not fainting. The ultimate challenge is when you lean forward and then lean backwards over the edge. But the view is totally worth it.
You see these hot dog carts all throughout the city? Well, in New York, you can get a hot dog where it all began. And no, it's not actually here. It's at Nathan's in Coney Island. We checked it out this summer. Let's go to the clip. Nathan's is where it all started. This is actually like where the hot dog was invented back in the early 1900s. And this is the original one, which is pretty exciting. You can get these all throughout New York, and they still use their original recipe that Nathan invented. I think it was about 100 years ago. Don't quote me on that. Okay, I'm putting mustard and ketchup because that's the only way to do this properly. This is never appealing, watching someone eat a hot dog. The moment of truth is here. Let's see if this is worth the $5 that I paid. Almost $6, really, if you round up. It tastes like a hot dog. I personally feel like it's overpriced, but it's good. It tastes like a hot dog. It's good. I mean, it's not like blowing me away, but it's also not disappointing me. My opinion. New York City is home to the famous, the iconic Radio City Rockettes. And so if you're looking for things that you can only do here, you gotta see the Rockettes. They're kind of like what the city is known for. The Christmas Spectacular starring the Radio City Rockettes kicks off the 2023 holiday season in New York City, and it's one of the best things to do on Christmas. This has been an annual tradition since 1933, and the classic Christmas Spectacular offers tap dancers, a flying Santa Claus, and of course, the world-famous synchronized precision dancing of all the Rockettes. My favorite way to get tickets by far to this show and to many of the attractions in New York City is through Get Your Guide. This is an online platform that has access to 60,000 different experiences around the world in 3,600 locations. I even sell my tours there, Funky Experiences. That's how much I love them. They take cancellations 24 hours in advance, which is not a policy a lot of places do. All of the experiences on Get Your Guide are provided by knowledgeable experts, hence why I sell my tickets there. It's really convenient too because you can book all of your tickets right through the app. You can download your tickets. No printing is required, which is so convenient when you're traveling because who has time to find a printer? You can use my links below to buy tickets to the Radio City Rockettes and any of the experiences that we talk about in this video. Did you know you can eat at a restaurant older than the United States of America here in New York City? We are here at Fraunces Tavern. This place was established in 1762 by Samuel Fraunces. Yes, 1762, that is older than the United States and it is still standing today, even though a cannonball went through the roof in 1775 and there was fires and there was Hurricane Sandy. This is the place where the Chamber of Commerce was founded. It's also where the Sons of Liberty came up with the idea of the revolution. This was the headquarters of the government during the Revolutionary War, and you can step back in time here. They have a museum upstairs. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton, Aaron Burr, yeah, that's right, the 2 dueling members, they all dined here and toasted over ideas of the revolution and the potential of the United States of America. We're here, we're gonna order some lunch. lunch. They have great food. Let's do it. See a real deal Broadway show. Listen, I'm sorry folks, but if you're not in New York City, then it's not Broadway. I don't care if you're at London's West End or seeing a touring Broadway show. It's not Broadway unless you're in New York. You gotta do it here. So whether you're gonna shell out the big bucks to see something like Hamilton or get a budget ticket, you gotta see it. The talent of these performers will blow you away. The shows I recommend seeing, I love The Lion King, Wicked, Book of Mormon, Moulin Rouge is amazing. There's so many great shows. Check out a Broadway show. This is a must. I told you you have to do it. This is one that I'm saying you must do this, Sarah said. Here in New York City, you can stand on the smallest privately owned piece of real estate in the world. See this little tiny triangle? There's a very interesting story here. This is also the last bit of spite real estate in New York. Yes, spite, as in angry, pissed off, not having a good time. That's what this is about. In 1910, the city was developing extremely rapidly. You had all of these horse-drawn carriage trails that had been converted into more main streets. So the city of New York thought, why don't we switch to a grid system, which is what we use today. It's much more of the grid style versus the winding streets you see in a lot of European cities. Well, to do that, they had to start somewhere. And at the time, they decided to start here in Greenwich Village. So in order to start the grid system here, they actually had to remove about 300 homes. And one of those homes was owned by a man named David Hess. Well, the city of New York paid everyone to leave, but David Hess didn't want to leave. He said, I lived here forever, you're not kicking me out, work around it. Well, the city took him to court, and the court declared eminent domain on David Hess and forced him to leave. But one of the rules that they made was that any leftover property that the city didn't use would have to be returned to David Hess. They remove all the buildings, and they're left with this. David Hess, here you go, this is the land you get back. Well, they thought like he wouldn't want it, but he was like, no. So what he did was he put a sign up that said, property of the Hess estate, which has never been dedicated for public purpose. New York pizza is iconic, so you gotta come here and get some pizza. Here are the places that you absolutely can get a lovely slice of pizza. Leaker Street Pizza, solid. Prince Street Pizza, you can buy that by the slice, also really solid. Lombardi's, that is known to be the first pizzeria in America. They only sell pizza by the pie there, so if you're gonna go there, you do have to sit down and get a pie or order out. Today, we're gonna check out John's Pizzeria. This spot is the go-to place in Midtown, so if you're seeing a Broadway show, this is where you gotta go. Lucas, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You grew up here in New York. What is your favorite pizzeria here? Unreal. That's all I gotta say, unreal. I've been trying to get this guy to try different foods, just goes right to the Chinese food every time. Our pizza just came here at John's Pizzeria. This spot's really cool because the interior is actually an old church, so it has a beautiful stained glass cathedral ceiling and a stunning drawing of New York City. They're known for their thin sliced pizza here. You order a whole pie, they can do all different flavors. I got the margarita, and Lucas forced me against my will to get a Hawaiian pizza. Yell at him, you guys. I'm not going down that road. That's not New York style, but this is, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Let's get a bite of it. So here's a fun pizza fact you may not know. Pizza actually became famous in New York City, not in Italy. Back in the early 1800s, when the Italian immigrants were coming here, they were poor, they didn't have a lot of money, so they brought something called pizza over, which was something only poor people ate in Italy because it required very simple ingredients, bread, sauce, cheese. It was easy. They started making it here in New York, and people from different parts of the world started trying it, and they loved it. And so pizza became very famous here in New York. And then when it got back to Italy after that, that's when it became popular in Italy too. But New York City is where pizza became popular, and that is why the original pizza is here, the real deal. And it's still delicious, my friend, 200 years later. You can get lost in the country's largest art museum. That's the Met, my friends, bringing in a whopping 7 million visitors annually. We are here at the Metropolitan Museum of Art today. This is the most visited museum in New York City, as you can see, based on this very long line to get in. It like almost never ends. And it has a price tag associated with it. It's no longer pay what you wish. unless of course you're a New York resident, which Lucas and I are. Woohoo, good for us. All right, let's go inside. Look, this museum is huge. And I say, you know, if you're a New York resident, this is well worth the $1 already. So there's like this long line to get into the entrance of the Monet exhibit, but if you just go around the corner, everything is connected and we're in it. And look at this. Oh my God, this is a Van Gogh. This is a Van Gogh. Where did he go? Right here.
Pretty sure you're waiting for like the Thanos of Monet's.
That's how you explain it? The Thanos of Monet's. Beautiful. Love it. Famous Monet. No line. Look at this. I love this hallway. Oh, beautiful. This is also where at the Met Gala they do a lot of photo shoots right here. This is by far my favorite part of this museum. This is the Temple of Dender. It was built in 15 BC. And an interesting fact about this area is they keep the climate controlled in this room exactly to what it is like in the Nile, so that the stone and everything is maintained as authentically as possible. And this is also where they have the Met Gala like party. They set up tables all around here. I can't even imagine how amazing that must be. You can visit the world's largest store. It is Macy's. It is enormous, takes up an entire city block, 11 floors, 1.2 million square feet of retail space. This thing is massive. You can literally get lost inside. I have personally gotten lost inside. There's so much going on in here. They have Starbucks, they have a cafe, they have a studio in here. We actually filmed something in their studio and it's so beautiful during the holidays. You can see behind me right now, they're like decked out for the holiday season. And this year, all of their windows are very immersive, so you can like put yourself in the windows. A list of things you can only do in New York City would be incomplete without mentioning the Statue of Liberty, of course. This is the only place in the world with the real Statue of Liberty.
They have one in Vegas.
Yeah, that one's fake. We all know that's fake in Vegas. Here we have the real deal, and it's worth visiting. It's a 4-hour trip. When you get there, the first thing you'll see is the museum, and here's where you're going to learn about the history of the Statue of Liberty, why it was given from France. You'll also see the original torch in this museum because it was replaced in 1984, and learn why that was. If you're lucky, you can get tickets to the Crown. I recommend doing that about 6 months in advance. And then once you're done there, you take the ferry right over to Ellis Island and learn about the immigration history in the city. And you could even see if your family members passed through there. I learned that mine did, which was very, very cool. So this is something that you absolutely must do because it's the only place in the world. And if you're coming to New York, check out this video next to save money on these tourist attractions because they may not be worth your time.